We did examiner observations, procedures, and findings last Thursday. So we're going to go ahead and start with scheduling the exit meeting. Again, if at any point you have a question about what I'm demoing or have a question about what you're experiencing related to what I'm demoing, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go straight to the your turn exercise. In the past, what I have recommended is you go to the training resources section and download or at least view the article. Again, the point of the article is for you to have a resource that lists all the detailed step-by-steps to follow. And sometimes it also has some introductory text explaining the concept behind that feature. So for example, scheduling the exit meeting, you might find some background information in the article. So, you know, even after you're done with training, when you're in the production environment, when you're in the live environment, you're likely going to find these articles very helpful. So make sure that you're aware of where to access them, basically. All right, so I'm going to go to the your turn exercise. And all right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue as the SAM Examiner 398. That's the one that I started with last Thursday. So we're just going to continue where we left off. So I'm going to sign into SAM 398. And our supervisory activity was 739. So let's see what it says. It says, sign in as the EIC, navigate to your supervisory activity, schedule the exit meeting with the company, and include a finding. Consider updating the date and time. So let's go ahead and do one thing at a time. So let's sign in and go to the exit meeting. So here is when the, so here's our training environment. There's my SAID, I open it up, and let's say you're like, wait, what? How am I supposed to find where the exit meeting is? So this is when the article comes in, right? You would either download the article or click that link to go to the article, and there you'll see that scheduling the exit meeting is under the examination page. So you go there, and then still you don't see it. You'll see that it's under the ellipses, okay? Scheduling the exit meeting becomes available as soon as you move your essay into in-flight. So then you'll see that option. So let's go ahead and click it. It said add a finding. So here you'll see that only those findings that are listed as reviewed, that are marked reviewed, they're the ones that you can see here. Okay, I'm gonna go to report and see, examination. Findings. See, so there are 3 findings here, but only 2 are in the reviewed status, and that's what we can see when scheduling the exit meeting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and include both of them. I'm going to add a meeting title, a subject. This is equivalent to like a subject in the email. So meeting, I might put the date. So let's do, and then you could include time or whatever is appropriate for your agency. Okay, any comments for the company would go here. And of course, anything that you select, you're going to reveal to the company. So that's what this says. All findings that are associated with the exit meeting will be revealed to the company. So I'm going to go ahead and click, well, let me make sure. Yeah. Schedule exit meeting, confirm. And now it's scheduled. Let's say that you needed to change something. You could just go back here, click update exit meeting, and maybe you wanted to update the time, update exit meeting. Okay, so then now the company receives this on their end. Okay, and then you could also close the exit meeting. It's the same way. You can come here, close exit meeting. Whenever that's appropriate for you, you would do that. So any questions there about scheduling the exit meeting, updating it, closing it? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this and move to the next module. So that was scheduling the exit meeting, now preparing the report and sending it for peer review. This is a bit of a heavier module. So, but I'm going to do the same things. Go straight to the your turn exercises. But notice how many more articles are available for this module. So again, I would recommend either downloading them or at least having them accessible on your screen as you're going through the your turn exercise. All right, so let me go into the training environment. So before you start uploading the report or even dealing with the report, there's a lot that you would have to do outside of the environment, outside of SES, to just prep the report. So, you know, first, there's several things that you would do in the environment, right? So by this point, in our examination tab, we've reviewed each of the areas for review. And if you remember, so these two have a complete status. What that means is if I go in here, if I go into the first area for review, what that means is that I've gone ahead and looked at the information request responses from the company. I've either marked them quick look complete or thoroughly reviewed them. I've got a question here. 1 second, please. Okay, so the question is, when you schedule the exit meeting, will the licensee have the ability to click on something to automatically put it on their calendar? Currently, as it's set up, I don't believe so. So if I schedule the meeting, like I just did, and the company receives that notification of the meeting, is there a way for them to just put it on their calendar? Like, you know how sometimes you can add to calendar?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. No. Currently, we don't have that functionality.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so I'm going to continue. Before you prepare the report, what you would do is you would go into the examination tab and all areas so I'm just going to go back. And you would go ahead and make sure that every element within each of these AFRs is completed, right? So you feel satisfied with going over the IR request responses. You feel like you've thoroughly worked your procedures, whether they're worked and whether they're marked complete. That needs to, just be decided. You go ahead and add all the findings that you want to add before you move to the report page. So you would do this for all the AFRs. And once you have that complete, you can, mark it complete using that button, and that would appear here. So let's assume that I've gone ahead and marked all the areas for review complete. I've gone ahead and worked my procedures, added the necessary findings. So then what I could do is I could come to the findings, then I can go ahead and export to Excel. So what that's going to do is it's going to export all my findings to my email. It's going to send me an Excel file to my email. So I'll show that to you in just a bit, what that looks like. But it'll go to right there. I don't know if you can see the note. It says, your export will be emailed to nmlstraining@csbs.org shortly. So it takes about a minute or two to get that. In the meantime, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go to, let's go back here. So it says, add any additional findings. I might do that. So mark findings as reviewed, if applicable. Export the necessary findings. So that's what I just did. add any additional report commentary, and then mark report commentary complete, and then export the necessary report commentary. So those are 2 things that you can export before you prepare the report, in preparation for the report, right? So let me go ahead and do that. Adding findings. Now, there's no real value in adding findings as a demonstration purpose, so I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to add report commentary. So we see that George, last Thursday, George added some report commentary. I'll go ahead and, as the EIC, we'll go ahead and, oops, I didn't click the right button. I think I clicked report complete commentary. What I meant to click is add report commentary. So I'll go ahead and click that. I'll add commentary 1 section of the report. So what we assume about this idea of the report is that we assume that you have your own template, right? You have been using your template for as long as you have been doing exams. You already have a report, a template report of examination that you already use. So you know these sections by heart, right? So maybe this area for report, this report commentary best belongs in section C. And then, we found that being able to add any additional comments to make sure, paragraph 3, subsection 20, any comments that will help you better define exactly where it goes in your report template, you can put that there. And then I'm going to go ahead and save in progress, save commentary. And obviously, if I've saved it in progress, maybe that's a mental note that, okay, it's not completed. I'm going to go back and complete it. But let's say I've gone back, completed it. What I can do here now is if I click complete commentary, what that'll do is let's say I had a list of 15 comments, it would complete them all, okay? And then not only would it complete them all, it would put a check here letting everyone else know that, the EIC is done with her commentary. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and export the report commentary. So when I click export report commentary, I have the choice of individually highlighting whatever I want to select, or I could do select all, obviously, and then export report commentary. Same thing happens. You see action completed, but it also gets emailed to my email address, whoever I'm signed in as gets that email. Any questions there? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to my email. So just I can show you what that looks like. So the finding report, so it takes a few minutes to appear. Let's see if it, okay, so finding report, this is the export findings. So that's what that looks like. It's a spreadsheet. So if you export your findings, you would get this, and what we would expect is you would go ahead and copy this and, transfer it into your report of examination, wherever it belongs in the template, that's where that would go. And similarly, okay, so I just exported the report commentary, so it's going to take a few minutes. There it is. Okay, and this is a Word document. So notice how you see how the comments that I entered appear in little sections. So again, you would copy whatever you need here and paste it into your report of examination wherever appropriate. Any questions there? Does that make sense? Okay. So it's a copy and paste into your own template. And so this would just be copy any other information that you need and go ahead and include it in your template in your report. So paste the relevant information into your report template. And now what we're going to do is we're going to update the participants and assign Janine as a peer reviewer. So we're preparing the report to send it for peer review. That's the point of this module. So I'm going to go ahead and, so again, now we're assuming that as the EIC, I've gone ahead and taken all the data that I need from this system, put it into the report, and now I've got a draft report. So I'm going to go ahead and click Upload Report. I'm going to upload the draft. So report response, report version 1.0. I'm going to go ahead and you are free to, name it however it's appropriate for your agency. You can upload any other supporting documents. I'm not going to do that. So then I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I just said I was going to add participants. I just jumped to the upload. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this in progress. See, and yeah, because we tend to want to get to the point, we sometimes forget crucial steps like I just did. And so that also might also trip you up. So I'm supposed to send it to Janine, but I never added her, right? So I went back to the participants page, clicked add participants. I'm gonna just, and again here, notice I almost selected Janine staff user 1, but we're working with the 398s. So I actually have to do Janine. So that's who I want, because otherwise I won't be able to access whatever ID, whatever login credentials I don't have access to. All right, so all of my people are 398, notice that. Now I'm gonna go back to the report tab. And so notice how it's in progress. So I've already clicked the button upload report. So now, and I made changes, so now the button becomes update report. So now what I'm gonna do is I've got my report there, and the latest version, remember the latest version is what is going to be sent to the company. All right, so if I did nothing here and I just move to the next steps, the latest version, that is what would be sent to the company. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and send it for peer review. What does that mean exactly, as opposed to sending it for review? Does anyone wanna unmute and tell me the difference between peer review and review? Does anyone happen to know? Surely someone knows. No brave souls? All right, no worries. So, okay, peer review, what that means is me as the EIC, I'm retaining the decision to mark the report complete. So when I say I'm gonna mark the report complete, what I'm saying is this is the correct version that I wanna send to the company. So I'm going to retain the decision-making power to mark it complete if I send it for peer review. So I can send it to peer review, for peer review, to 5 different people, and they can mark it complete, but they won't, their marking it complete isn't the same as my marking it complete, because my marking it complete finalizes that review workflow, okay? If I, for example, wanted to let somebody else decide what the final version should look like, then I would send it for review, okay? So right now, I just want people to make comments on it, add any changes that they wanna make on it, but I don't want them to decide what the last final version would look like. So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and send it for peer review. I hope that made sense. If anyone has any questions, let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and send it for peer review. Janine. And notice how everyone is available on my list. All the people that I've put in the participants list is available as a peer reviewer. That's because anyone can be a peer reviewer. The only reason I added Janine was because up until this point, she was never a participant, and I need her specifically to look at this report. Okay, so I send it to her. I'm going to go ahead and add her as a peer reviewer and then send the report for peer review. And when I do that, you'll notice that the status went to in peer review, and I'm just going to refresh this. One more time. Yeah, and you see that the review workflow has begun, okay? So now, let's go back here, upload this draft and send it for peer review. So we're done with this module. We've sent it for review.
Yeah. Hey, Shireen, I think there's a question in the chat box. Someone's asking, yeah.
So, excellent question. I think what I'm about to show you next may answer that question, but the idea is that we've kept it so that, you know what, yes, I'm going to answer that in the demo that I'm about to do. So in the next step, if I don't answer it, we'll discuss it. So what has happened now is we've sent it for review, and now Janine will receive that document, right? So let's see what Janine does with it. So preparing the report, we just finished that. Peer reviewing the report. Okay, so let me go ahead and start that. I'm gonna jump straight to your turn. This is easier on their eyes. So log in as the peer reviewer. So that's what I'm gonna do. So we assigned Janine as the peer reviewer, 398. So and of course, you have to accept the terms of use every 24 hours. Okay, so there's once you send it for peer review or review, you see a task. Okay, so let's just navigate to the peer review report as a task, review the report, upload a new version of the report, and leave a comment. So that's the key right there, right? That's the answer to your question. So the red line edits, because you're actually going to be editing this outside of the system, and it's most likely you're going to use Microsoft Word. So what we've found is people will just use the track changes to mark their edits. So I believe that answers your question. So it's not in the system, it's Microsoft Word and that, you know, track changes functionality. So for example, Sam, the EIC, you know, uploaded the first version. I go ahead and download it. I take a look, and so let's open a fake document. So report, so I'm gonna upload, oh, I don't mean to open it, oops, because it's in a blank document. So we're gonna assume that I looked at the first version, I made my edits using track changes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and upload it back into the system. And you know, it's chock full of edits, my comments, all that. And that's the functionality of Microsoft Word, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and, we're assuming I downloaded this, and then I worked on it, and then I'm re-uploading it into the system, upload new version, and that would be my Janine edit, right? And of course, how you name it is up to you, but be mindful that whatever you do end up naming it, and if it's the final version, that is what the company is going to receive. So, you know, I would say, and you know, you're free to add anything else you need to. And we have the add new peer reviewers. If I feel like I need to send it to somebody else, I can do that. I'm gonna go ahead and mark it as complete. Okay, so I'm gonna pause for a second, make sure I did answer the questions that did come in. And if there are any new questions, feel free to ask. Any follow-up questions? Okay. All right. So as Janine, I just finished doing the review of the peer review of the report, so that task has disappeared. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Let me try to follow this. Okay, so we're done here. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'm going to go to the next module. The next module is so we did the peer reviewing of the report, adding matters requiring attention. Okay, so this is the last module before last module before I stop and ask for questions. Okay, your turn. So let's go back to the system. I'm going to go ahead and sign in as the EIC.
Hi, Shireen. And while you do that, I just wanted to ask the group if anyone had any questions about the term MRA or matter requiring attention in SES. Or maybe that's something that was covered during the training, Shireen. Not sure.
It's in the articles. Again, anything that you're confused about, we recommend that you check out the article on it, because that will cover concepts that you may be confused about, any background information that you want, any additional information you want. It should be in the article. And if you find that you can't find what you're looking for anywhere, even if it's a simple definition or just the idea behind a feature, or what were we thinking, and if you want to know that, please let us know. If you send me a quick email, we'll make the changes to our articles or wherever we need to. And we want to be mindful of the things, of the concepts that are throwing you off. So please, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone has any questions about that terminology or would like to go over that on this call, we can do that as well. Thank you, Shireen.
Okay, so navigate to your supervisory activity, add a matter requiring attention. I mean, it's like it says, right? Matter requiring attention. Anything that you don't want to fall through the cracks, you want to turn it into a matter requiring attention. Something that you want answered from the company. This is an important matter. It's something you want to follow through even to the end. I believe matter requiring attention, they actually have their own, closing process or completion process, and they can be followed. They could be followed through even after the closing of the exam, right? So this is a matter that you want to not fall through the cracks, basically. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at matters requiring attention. So I'm going to go ahead and go to 739, and go back to the report. But notice you're not seeing any MRAs, or where would I even go? And so there are a lot of people who have called about not being able to find where they can add the MRA. So if you notice here, it says, currently the uploaded report is likely in the in progress status. Be sure to click update report and select complete report without review. Otherwise the MRA and closeout pages will not appear. So that's the, that's what throws people off. So let's go back to the report. We are on the report tab, and let's go ahead and click. So first, let's review a few things. So here are the two edits, and this says latest. So if I were to leave this just like it is, that's the version that's going to go to the company. So let me go ahead and add one more version. Okay, so let's assume that I looked at both of them. I saw Janine's red line edits. I'm going to go ahead and accept them, make a few tweaks, and then I'm going to go ahead and upload my final version. Okay. So report of examination, final. Now, if you don't want the company to see that final word, remove it. Report of examination is, if that's what's good for you, then that's what you would put. So, yep, that's everything. Does that make sense? Are there any questions regarding that? So now I'm the EIC, and I'm I've taken everyone's edits into consideration, and I want to be the one that closes this review process, that finalizes it. Again, if I didn't want to make that decision, then I would send it for review to whomever needs to make that final decision. I'm going to go ahead and mark it complete without review. And oh, so you'll notice, so this is the training environment, and what happens is new releases that occur that are about to be released into production first arrive in the training environment. So you'll notice that this is a new feature. It's not covered in the article. It's not covered anywhere because we're going to develop training on it soon. And so, but this is just a slight difference. This is, so you have to click on this. This is to let you know that, you know what, if you click on that and if you click the report, that's it. You can't make any updates. You can't, update a newer version. So as the EIC, I'm done. But you will see this is another functionality change. Once I assign the package assembler, the package assembler will have one more chance to update the final version. But as the EIC, I'm done, okay? So this is why they've added this feature to make sure, you have verified that this is the final version and you cannot make any changes after this point. So then you complete report. So this must have been added because people are still not recognizing that, oh, this is the final version, right? So please know that when you get to this point, if you click complete report, that's it. No more changes will happen. So, take all the time you need, do the review process, but do not click complete report until you're ready to send that report to the company. That's the version you want to send to the company. Any questions there? Okay. So now you notice how there's the assigned package assembler. The package assembler is the role that basically assembles all the documentation, adds any commentary before it's sent to the company. So between the EIC and the company comes the package assembler. It's like they assemble the package and then they send it to the company. So we're not going to assign the package assembler just quite yet, but when I mark the report complete, that is when I saw the MRA and closeout pages. So I'm going to go ahead and click the MRA page, and I'm going to go ahead and add a few MRAs. These are, again, matters requiring attention, something that I don't want to to forget about. You would write whatever is appropriate for an MRA. I'm going to say I want it 15 days after they receive it. This should be responded to by 15 days after they receive it. I can send it for review if I wanted, but I'm going to go ahead and complete this one. So I'm going to mark this complete. I'm going to add one more. And I'm going to save this one. I'm going to show you what happens if you save one. So, people also have called in to ask about, I can't find the assigned package assembler button. And that's because your MRA is in progress status. And you might be thinking, wait, why are we doing MRAs before, sending the report to the company? That's because we want to give you the opportunity, before you send the report, we want to give you the opportunity to also share these matters requiring attention along with the report. So when you send the report, you can also send the MRA together. So, but if they're not in the complete status, then you don't get that opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and just go here, update MRA, mark it complete, and now the assigned package assembler button comes back, okay? So, yeah, no, I can't, I was gonna demonstrate how you can select the MRAs that you wanna send along with the report, but the package assembler does that, and that's gonna be next Thursday. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. That concludes our demo. Yeah. So are there any questions there?
You've been working like the screen right now shows your turn. Was that just another tab when you had the report working? You've been flipping back and forth. So how are you doing that? That's just a
Okay, that's an excellent question. So this is the training environment. This is, you know, when I go here, that's the SES training environment. This allows you to practice what you're supposed to do, but this is actually our LMS, our learning management system, what we call Flex. So what, when we invite you to training, we give you a 4-step invitation. And the second step is the link to this. So basically, these are the modules that we expect the examiners to go through in order to, this is the examiner training, this is the EIC training. So these are all the modules that you have to complete in order to pass the examiner training. And so when I click on any of these modules, it launches this your turn. Basically, it launches this, right? It launches this module with all these slides. And I'm just going to the your turn slide. Every module has a your turn slide. And that's what these are high level steps that we hope that you're able to go into the training environment and do. So if you've never seen this before, it may be that you haven't been invited to training. There are certain agencies who only get like 3 or 4 invites. And what we're saying is you should pass those invitations along to the next EIC that needs it, or the next examiner that needs it. So, you know, if you need that invitation, feel free to email me and I can figure out how to get that to you. But this is basically the training. There's the Flex environment, which is what gives you the instructions that you need to do. And then there's the training environment, which is where you do the instructions coming from the Flex environment. You know, my name is Shireen Lakhani. I am hoping that you did get some form of emails from me, directly from me. So feel free to shoot me an email right back to let me know if you have any questions about any of this.